Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm gonna talk about Samsung Electronics from August 2026 to July 2027. In the upcoming 12 months, what's gonna happen to this company in general? So first of all, I realized one thing that is essential to talk about, which is Seven of Cups energy. There must be something that is really up in the air for Samsung. They're thinking about a lot of different ideas, but it's really difficult to implement. So, whatever they are telling us to, or actually telling us about their future plans, we have to be very careful because there are a lot of thinking that they're actually doing right now. However, it doesn't mean that their plans will stick. And we have to be cautious about that. And I also want to emphasize the fact that I do see the Seven of Cups energy will be prominent for Samsung, especially in January 2027. Um, so that means around that time frame, we will be knowing more about what they are actually thinking, what they are trying to do in the future. And there will be a spotlight on Samsung in January next year. Without further ado, let's dive into the Celtic spread. So, this Celtic spread is for the upcoming 12 months for Samsung. And then after I completed this Celtic spread, I will move on to the monthly card for Samsung. First of all, Page of Cups at the beginning of this spread, which means Samsung was trying to do something in a very innocent manner. Uh, they were trying to approach their business without being very logical, which can be both good and bad. The good side is they are following their emotions, they are following their love and their calling to work on their business model. Page of Cups can also mean some kind of good news about something. So let's look into what that represents. Okay, it is about 8th house and 5th house. 8th house and 5th house, it is about the death and rebirth of some kind of ideas. And the 5th house is about the love and the future generations. So I'm thinking that they are trying to focus on the younger generations and try to, get their support in regards to their businesses. So something about youth, um, they can also be the investments from other companies that are still very fresh in this technological arena. Um, so what I can think about is they were trying to implement more technologies from um, some kind of startup companies, or maybe the technologies were really new, but somehow they gave it a shot, and it was okay for a while. But at this moment, we do see the Five of Wands energy, which is about there are lots of conflicts, and within the company, different departments, different branches, subsidiaries, they are trying to sort out the conflicts because within Samsung, all these subsidiaries, there are certain level of conflicts that are happening right now. And let's talk about what the Five of Wands energy is about. Okay. It is about the fourth house and the 11th house. So first of all, they might be thinking about where they want to where they want their company is on based in, like which country. They might even think about relocating the headquarters. um, Fourth house and 11th house, it is about the foundation going into the future. So they are trying to change fundamentally in regards to their businesses. So there must be something that they feel like they don't want to do it anymore, um, because of whatever reasons. And so right now they're trying to look into the future and plan ahead, trying to eliminate whatever that has no future. So I can imagine that they might be trying to spin off some of the subsidiaries, or maybe restructure. So I do feel like they're trying to restructure the company right now. The Wheel of Fortune crossing it, though, there are things that are happening out of their control that will happen pretty soon, and this will change their perspectives about what to remain, what to let go of. So, what will be the nature of the Wheel of Fortune? Okay, the Wheel of Fortune is fifth house and the sixth house. Um, so the fifth house is about creativity. It is about gambling. It is about um, it's related to the Leo energy. Leo is about the leadership and um, leadership, creativity, um, that kind of thing, and being fun. Sixth house is about work. So when we combine these two things, I think about creativity and the work and the employment. So it is possible that within the Samsung company, there will be an urge for the employees to be more playful, more creative, because there is a need to be more creative. And when we are talking about the Wheel of Fortune, it is about something that is out of the control of the company itself. So there might be a trend in the society, even globally, which is about having fun, um, having fun on a daily basis, having fun in work, being creative, these kind of elements will be challenging the company, um, because for some reason, this spread is telling me that Samsung, this company, is having difficulties to cope with creativity. Like they are not very creative right now, even though they were trying to take baby steps towards being more creative, um, being more, having the Page of Cups energy, like being less sophisticated. But they still battling with the fact that uh, there is a trend that is happening globally, that is to be more creative, more innovative, and they are trying to cope with it. And I feel like the change, the Wheel of Fortune, is representing the innovative power, the creative power of the other companies that they are competing with. And because the other companies are trying their best to be more creative in whatever they are doing and competing with Samsung, so that will actually force Samsung to improve their approach and make some major changes in regards to their business approach. Page of Swords at the bottom of this spread is about realizing the problem, getting down to the bottom of the problem. So, what is the Page of Swords energy? Let's talk about it. Okay, so the Page of Swords energy is about 11th house and the second house. 11th house, we're talking about the future, the mass media, the group mind, the society, the mass population. Second house, income. So when we are combining 11th house and 12th house, we're talking about future income. They are not sure um, whether their current approach will generate the income that they are looking for in the future. There is a problem about generating more income into the future. That's why this is also a problem that they need to face, because they are feeling the decline, and the decline in profitability in the long run. They're seeing it right now and they realize that it is a problem, so they have to change. The lovers at the top of this spread means being in harmony, um, being passionate. So they're still trying to do whatever they love to do, but at the same time, they feel like they are at a point where they need to make a change, make a decision, because it's difficult um, to do everything at the same time, and they are seeking for partnerships. Um, Probably some of the products they are seeking for partnerships because they just they don't feel like they want to handle everything by themselves from now on. Um, I remember one of the news I've read in recent months was Samsung was trying to outsource the some of the displays of the lower end mobile and cell phone devices to other companies who are making, manufacturing displays. I think they ended up not doing it because they have their reasons, but I do see that there is a trend for them to outsource more things. And let's talk about the energy of the lovers. Okay. Sixth house, 12th house, 10th house. Okay. So sixth house is about the day-to-day routine, the job, the employment. 12th house is about ending some of the employments and the operations. 10th house is about being responsible, um, having this status in in the field they are operating in, which is the technological field. So I think this matches my interpretation as they are wanting to outsource some of the operations, some of the products to other companies so they can, focus on whatever they want to focus on. Okay, so Three of Wands energy in the immediate future, there will be partnerships, partnering with other companies, partnering with other countries um, in a long run. So, what is Three of Wands energy? Ninth house, fourth house. Okay. I remember earlier I talked about they might be thinking about relocating and also the location of um, where their headquarters will be. And, they might be thinking about where their future factories should be located in. So there might be the restructuring of the forgot lost my chain of thought. Logistically they might want to move their headquarters um, and building new factories in different places in this world. And in general, I would say they're trying to seek for places that are stable for them to invest and to develop their businesses and to manufacture their products. So, yeah, I do think that they are trying to change where they are manufacturing their products. And I do think they will cooperate with different places, different companies to outsource and also to manufacture something, in a different place, maybe a different country. Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the spread. That means there is a lack that Samsung is facing right now. The good thing about Five of Pentacles is Samsung is not alone. So they probably feel like within the tech industry, or the industry they are in, because they're not only doing the technology, they are also doing appliances. They have all kinds of subsidiaries, and they feel like they're not making enough money, but they are not alone. And they are aware that some other companies in the similar field, they are also facing a shortage. Okay, so let's talk about what's the Five of Pentacles energy. Okay, so Five of Pentacles energy is about 10th house and the 9th house. 10th house is about reputation, the social status. 9th house is about foreign lands, legal obligations. So they're feeling the burden of operating, or there are burdens about the operations in foreign lands and also foreign governments. This can be about the tariffs. This can be related to foreign policy, foreign government policies that are actually affecting their income. So Two of Wands energy after that means that they are aware of the lack, they are aware of the limitations about profitability, and they have to make a choice. But they are not trying to rushing through it. The Two of Wands energy is about being very sophisticated, looking at the global situation and then make a choice. So Two of Wands energy, what is it about? 11th house, second house, third house. Okay, so they have to, they're trying to make a decision about the future revenue. Third house is about communications. So they're thinking about the mobile devices, the whatever products they are dealing with, connectivity among people. So this can include their cell phone business. This can also include, they also build 5G networks. They deal with the networking equipments. So it's possible that some of these businesses, some of these products, they're trying to get rid of some of them. Maybe not all, but at least they're trying to let go of some of their products that are related to the communication sector because they are not profitable. So Ten of Swords energy after that, it means that they will put a stop in some kind of products that they are dealing with right now. So Ten of Swords, what is the specific thing? Okay, it is about the 4th house, the 11th house. So 4th house, 11th house. Okay, this might be their home appliances business, because 4th house, usually we talk about the household, we talk about something related to the house. This can be also about the closing of some of the manufacturer plants. So I do see that there might be two directions. Oh, first of all, the home appliances sector, they might be making some critical changes there, and also the communication products, they're trying to end some of parts of their product lines in regards to home appliances and the communication sector. Seven of Cups energy, as I mentioned earlier, it means that they have a lot of plans right now, but it's hard for them to implement their plans because the plans are not sticking at the moment. And in the next 12 months, it will be an ongoing process for them to rethink, to strategize their future. So let's think about what's the Seven of Cups energy. Okay, it is about 6th house, 12th house, 10th house. Okay, it is about the ending of the operation of some kind of important thing. So they might be trying to axe certain subsidiaries and departments within the company. Um, and this can actually change the brand image because they are letting go some of the major parts of their company. And people might feel like it's a little bit, um, it can be a big change if they decide to do it. So, how the public will see this? Okay, so I got the Ace of Swords and the World Energy. The public will feel like, oh, Samsung is doing, it is taking an action to complete one of the major things that they have been doing, and it is a big thing because the world is the last card of the major arcana, which means that Samsung will be making a major decision about, uh, wrapping up some of their businesses, because it no longer fulfills their income, their profit. Okay. So now let's move forward. The Eight of Cups energy for August 2026 is about letting go of something that has been very meaningful for the company. Uh, Let me see, what is that? Okay, it is about second house, third house. Okay, the income that they generate through communications. So in this case, I feel like this month they will be walking away from, some of the businesses in connectivity, including mobile business, the 5G, the networking. They made a lot of money by doing them, but they feel like they have to seek for something new. So what is the thing that they're seeking right now? The Eight of Cups energy. Okay, it's about 9,000, 4,000. Okay, 9,000, 4,000. The 9,000, 4,000. When we combine that, it is about going to foreign lands and then seek for some kind of foundation for their businesses. So I believe that this month, the August of 2026, Samsung is trying to reach out to different countries and to make some kind of deals with them. Um, and they will explaining with all the partners in different countries that there is a need for them to leave behind some kind of um, manufacturing plants in factories. They have to leave that behind and to seek for a new home for their products. Okay, so next month, which will be the September, we see the King of Cups energy. So King of Cups energy, this can be a person who is prominent in Samsung, as a company head or something. It can also mean that the energy of the King of Cups, which is about maintaining the calm over troubled waters. As you can see, the King of Cups, this person, he is sophisticated, emotionally sophisticated, even though he knows that there are a lot of things that are happening around him which are not really favorable, and he might feel like is kind of on a shaky ground. King of Cups is not even on a ground. King of Cups is on a chair located on an ocean. Think about that, how turbulent it can be. That means that next month Samsung will be dealing with the turbulence around itself. And let's talk about what the turbulence will be. Okay, the turbulence will be the ninth house and the fourth house. So um, it is still about foreign situation, foreign lands, and there might be problems about the businesses and the foundations of the businesses in operating in foreign lands. So I do believe that both August and September they will be dealing with um, problems in regards to their factories and their businesses in all in foreign lands. So not in South Korea, but in foreign lands. Um, in this month, they tend to travel. In August, they tend to travel to those places and then realize that okay, there are problems. And then next month, which is the September, they will be handling these matters in a very sophisticated manner. Um, yeah. Okay. In October, they have the full energy, which is about brand new beginning, which is about the liberation of something. At the same time, it can be unpredictable, like out of the blue, something happened, that kind of energy. The good thing is there will be a new beginning for Samsung. The downside is it's kind of unpredictable. So let's tap into this full energy. Okay, the full energy is ninth house, fourth house, 11th house, and the second house. Okay, again, we're talking about foreign lands. You know what? Ninth house can also mean legal matters. So they can combining both legal matters and foreign lands. Foreign lands, fourth house, the support in foreign lands, it can be the network of the Samsung products operating out of the South Korea region, in the foreign lands. 11th house is about the future, the planning of the future. Um, so they will be trying to secure long-term plans in regards to making profits on foreign lands, and they will be having a lot of deals that will be made between them and the foreign subsidiaries. Maybe it is about income, and they will be trying to um, they will take action on foreign lands in regards to their businesses in order to seek for more long-term profit in the long run. And in October, they will make major changes about that because there will be the new beginning. Okay, so November this year, Queen of Cups energy. Queen of Cups energy is about being emotional about the situation, which is kind of, I would say it's not so good because when we are talking about economy and a business that is operating, a business if it's dealing with Queen of Cups, that means they're being emotional about a situation. So why is the Queen of Cups? What would this be? Okay, fourth house, ninth house. Okay. Again, we're talking about the ninth house, something on foreign lands about Samsung. There might be problems happening with their foreign businesses. It can be the factories, it can be the products. And I have to also say the full card, it might indicate that something that happens out of the blue and they don't have total control about. And when we look back to the Celtic spread, there is the Wheel of Fortune covering the Five of Wands energy, which means there are situations that are changing and kind of unpredictable for Samsung. So, something will be on shaky ground because of that reason. And they have to also be very careful about their headquarters, their factories, because there might be some kind of accidents that can happen and it can be out of the blue. And honestly, I would think this will be more linked to foreign lands because the consistency of the ninth house, fourth house, it can be their foreign offices are being, something happen and they just need to deal with it. And I would think in November, it is kind of worrying for Samsung because Queen of Cups energy is about being emotional. So they must be dealing with something difficult in order to feel emotional about a situation. So from August onwards to November this year, I feel like at the beginning, Samsung will be like, okay, we know that something is happening on foreign lands. We need to go there and deal with it. And then they will realize some problems. So they will be like, okay, we gonna deal with it sophisticatedly, professionally. But then when the full energy hits, it's, all bets are off, that kind of energy. Something happens out of the blue related to the matter that they are focusing on foreign lands. And in November this year, they will reach a point where they feel like it's it's out of their control and um, they can't keep their calm. So they feel like it's kind of emotional for them to deal with this. Okay. So now let's talk about December. December, we have the Empress energy for Samsung. Empress energy is about the motherland, the creativity, mothering energy. The Empress energy is about giving birth to something new. So they might be generating something new, something beautiful. So let's look at it. What's the Empress energy? Okay, the Empress energy is about seventh house and the first house. First house. So they will be in a major partnership with someone, with a certain company, and this will impact their image because first house is about the image of the company, of a person, and then seventh house is about the partnership. So in December this year, they will come into partnership with another company. um, it can be related to the Empress. What I can think about is about the beauty industry. If we are talking about company structure, then the Empress can be, the parent company. So there might be a situation where, you know, uh, a subsidiary situation, because for subsidiaries there is a parent company. The parent company can be the Empress Energy. So I feel like there might be some kind of acquisition or that might happen, but at the same time, it is kind of like a partnership thing. Um, yeah, but partnership is a big thing in December for Samsung. Anyway, after this partnership month in January 2027, the Seven of Cups energy is prominent for Samsung. So I believe that because the partnership, the establishment of an important partnership, they will have the the time and the space to think about their future, like what can be done since we have completed this deal with someone, whatever companies they're dealing with. Once the deal was done, they think about what's going to happen in the future. But in January, they're thinking about their options and nothing is sticking yet. February, King of Wands energy. King of Wands energy, that can mean a person who is in authority, a person who is very passionate about the business, passionate about whatever they're doing. So in February next year, Samsung will have the passion in doing something that they love, something that they feel very connected with, very passionate about with. Um, so this King of Wands, what would this be? Fourth house, ninth house. Okay. Um, this can be their home appliances department, but at the same time, fourth house, ninth house is about foreign lands. Establishing the foundation in foreign lands. It can also mean home appliances business related to foreign lands, and they have some new plans about it. They also make washer, they make um, you know refrigerators, those kind of stuff. um, yeah, something they're trying to implement and carry out in February next year. In March, Samsung will be feeling the pressure because there is a burden that is kind of overwhelming for them because of what they're trying to do. So, what is the Ten of Wands? Okay, the Ten of Wands is about fourth house and the second house. Okay. So when we talk about fourth house and second house, first of all, uh, for Samsung, it can be their home appliances business. They feel burdened about the income. This is the first thing. Second thing, fourth house, second house, they might feel a lot of pressure about their income and the profit in South Korea because the fourth house is about the homeland. They are the home of Samsung is South Korea, right? So there might be a monetary situation that made them feel very uncomfortable and burdened because they feel like the profit is, sinking, and they just have to, bear with it at that moment. Okay, so right now let's move towards um, April. Okay, April 2027. They have the star energy. Star energy is about the rejuvenation, the renewal of some kind, the healing process. So let's talk about what is that about. Okay, it is about fourth house, second house. Okay, whatever that whatever the problem is for them in March 2027, It's not going to be long lasting because in April they will have the star energy. The star energy is about the solution, the healing of the situation, and their finances. They will figure out how to deal with, the lack of profits. They will find a way to deal with it. And as we see in the star card, the person is pouring both um, vessels, you know, pouring the water onto the land, and they might receive help from more than one side, and they it can also be an internal restructuring where they are able to move their assets or their money from certain subsidiaries or maybe certain operations within the company and then put it into the place that is lacking the resources. So anyway, April 2027, they will figure out the problem and then deal with it successfully. And then in May, Samsung has the Queen of Wands energy. Queen of Wands energy is about being passionate, being intuitive, because as we see the black cat in the Queen of Wands card, that means they're trying to use their psychic ability in a situation, where there might not be enough resources for a plan to be carried out. However, they're gonna do it no matter what because they feel passionate about it. So in this case, let's look into the Queen of Wands energy. What can this be? Okay. Okay, the Queen of Wands energy is about 12th house, 10th house. 12th house is about, if we talk about the industry, it can be about the hospital sector. It can be, medical devices. And then the 10th house can be, government. So I feel like next May, Samsung will be having some deals with foreign, um, can be foreign governments, can be hospital equipments, um, something related to government. They have the need to to deal with them, but they don't have the necessary resources to make it right, but they have to do it no matter what because that's their calling. Um, why we're talking about the lack of resources? Because for the Queen of Wands card, we can see that she's holding a flower, but the flower has no water. We don't see any drop of water around the Queen of Wands. So, what we can know about is there is the idea that they will implement and take action of, but at some point, they have to deal with the lack of funding, the lack of the resources that they need. It can also be lacking in the knowledge of making it flourish. So, but I do see there is the strong initiative to do certain things, can be related to medical and the government. Okay, so in June next year, June 2027, Nine of Swords, it will be a worrying month for Samsung because something is not going right. Um, they they can't even sleep. So what is this matter? Okay, fifth house, sixth house. Okay, so fifth house is about creativity. it is about the younger generations, younger people. The sixth house is about the daily routines, the health. So the first thing I can think about is there might be younger people who are suffering because of the products of Samsung. And then this can be mental health issue. Um, this can also be an employment situation that is closely related to the younger generations. Um, and I feel like it's also about people who are using Samsung products on a daily basis. Some ugly stuff may come out and then come out to the open, and people will feel like, oh my god, we're using it on a daily basis. What's the impact on our health or even mental health, that kind of stuff. um, but I also feel like that they will be dealing with the wheel of fortune energy, which is about some things out of their control, and then their competitors are catching up with their creativity, that kind of thing. Okay, let me dive deeper with the Nine of Swords. What is that? Nine of Cups, wish. Page of Swords, problem. Temperance, a compromise. Um, the Moon energy, the unknown. Two of Swords, you have to stay peace with it. Okay. Eight of Cups, Six of Swords. Okay. So for the Nine of Swords energy, it refers to one of the dreams, one of their hopes that they want to manifest is having problem, and they are realizing it, and then they have to make a compromise. um, they have to be at peace with the situation. And then the moon energy is about the instability of the situation, and then they have to they don't know whether they can continue to do what they want to do. This is the idea. And then two of swords energy is about settling with a decision that makes them feel peaceful, not necessarily happy about it, but they have to be at peace, and to be able to compromise. Eight of cups is about leaving a situation, moving away from something. So I feel like next year in the June timing, they will be leaving some kind of leaving some of the businesses that they have been doing for a long time, and that creates a lot of worry in Samsung. Um, it can also be related to the deals that were being made, let's say this year, the August September time frame. The arrangements that are being made this year, next June, they will realize that there are problems because they they are not they will not be able to control every details that are needed to be supervised. And when problems come out, it will bring the headache. um, Perhaps when they're dealing with the foreigners in foreign lands, they were assuming that they will be carrying out their plans, stick to their principles, the principles of Samsung. But somehow something doesn't go the way they will be planning, and that makes them very worried. So July, July 2027, they will gain success in certain situations that they're dealing with. Six of Wands is about victory, and the way that they manage the problem is also publicly admired. The Six of Wands energy, it is about, someone being a role model in the industry, and then they are being followed by the followers because they are doing the right thing. So whatever that is happening, that will be happening next June, that can be very worrying at the beginning, but they will figure out a way to sort out the situation and then make a very reputable decision about the situation. So what is the Six of Wands energy? Okay, the Six of Wands energy is about the eighth house and the fifth house. Okay, the eighth house is about death and rebirth, the transformation. The fifth house is about the, you know, it can be the projects that they are trying to do in a very passionate way, but they will put an end on something that they've been trying their best to do it. They have a lot of love about that because the fifth house is about babies. Babies for a company, it can be whatever they are proud of making it, doing it. But they're putting an end on doing something because there is a need to do it, a need to to complete the process and moving away from that. And um, somehow this can be a good thing for Samsung because they are eliminating whatever doesn't make the profits. And yeah, so in general, I would say in the next 12 months, it is not going to be easy for Samsung as a company because they will be realizing the truth about some of their businesses that are no longer working, you know, in favor for the company. And they will keep track on their income and profitability among different subsidiaries, and they will make some tough decisions on uh, letting go some of the things that they have been doing um, through some sort of partnerships. However, it's not going to be easy because I can see that they're partnering with companies or even governments from foreign lands, and then some of the details, they might be signing on a dotted line, which is they might not know every details. And when the partnership is being carried out, they will figure out the problems. They will realize the problems and be very worried about the problems. However, um, I do feel like they are very responsive and very flexible in certain ways in dealing with obstacles, which is always a good sign for a company. And yeah, I do think that we will see Samsung letting go some of the businesses that no longer make the company profitable. Um, some major things that we have to be aware of is their factories overseas. Are they safe? Um, will there be problems about their operations in the factories? That might come up. And then their home appliances subsidiary, there might be significant changes coming up. And also in the communication sector, their mobile businesses, their networking businesses, Samsung is one of the companies that produces the 5G gear for the networking companies. So there might be some significant changes. They might let go of some of those businesses, or maybe part of those businesses, so that they can have the space to think about the future. Um, the downside is I don't see an immediate clarity about the company in the next 12 months because of all the changes that the company is coping with and will be coping with. It will be very difficult for Samsung to look into the future. Um, as I mentioned about the Seven of Cups energy, so a lot of things will be up in the air. And we have to be careful as an investor, as a customer, whatever they are carrying out at the moment, there is no guarantee that they will carry out till the end because of the volatilities that they are facing in the future. So if they give us a very grandiose plan for the future, we have to be very conscious about it because there are things that they're just thinking about. Um, one positive thing that might happen is if they are dealing with the cloud networking structure, because we know that a lot of things are on the cloud right now. And if they are dealing with the AI, those kind of stuff, it's based on imagination. So that can be, if the Seven of Cups is about the AI side, the AI business of the company, then definitely it is the Seven of Cups, the imaginary situation, which is a good thing. But we also need to be aware of the downside, which is the unknown of the future of Samsung. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, and I appreciate your time in watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave that at the comment section below. And if you have any things that you want me to read, let me know, and I will try to see if I can read. Thank you so much. You have a good day. Bye bye.